I think the truth about the Devlins was sparked because I felt that you'd have to try to write a main character that is true to the times. So for example, if you look at it like the 80s, for example, I started writing however long ago. You know, your typical 80s hero, like a guy like Mitch McDeere in The Firm, he doesn't really have a lot of doubts. He is pretty self-assured. His only real flaw is that he's ambitious. And that was very much that time. Remember, Dress for Success and Yuppies and all that. And I wanted to sort of think we're in much more complex times now. What is success is really a hard question. People work from home. Paths aren't as linear as they used to be. And people, I think we're much more aware, and I think it's a good thing, that we have failings. Mental illness is on the rise. We understand there's rates of anxiety and depression, and those things impact us. And I think to a certain extent, all of the tumult that's in our country affects us. So when I'm going to write a protagonist who's coming to that, I said, well, I want to write about a recovering alcoholic. Good, now that you go, well, that's your hero? Go, yes, that is actually my hero. Because I love that he has made some mistakes, as we all have, and he is trying to figure out how to get out of the mess he's made for himself. And he does that with the help of AA and friends, but it also at the same time is sort of his struggle as this plot begins when his brother says, I killed somebody, help me find the body. So that's really where it came from. It's very much, I think, of a time. First off, I think I always wanted to be. I think I always thought, oh, I could write a book. And I actually think a lot of people think that, and the answer is they actually can write a book. I think we all have a book in us, maybe more. So I think it wasn't really until my financial circumstances changed, which is a very nice way of saying my life went into the crapper and started circling. Like I got divorced and I had just had a child and I was like, how are you going to make a living and stay home with her, which is what I really wanted to do. And then I had no money and I was like, well, if you're going to be broke, you might as well go broke doing what you want to do, which is raising this child. And also try to be a writer. You always thought you wanted to. Give it a shot. I think I mentioned in my speech, I really thought that we needed to see more women in the lead in crime fiction and in novels in general. We were kind of second banana still. And I said, go for it. Make a really strong, independent, feisty, fun person like is your mom and you and all your friends, and you be the star. I really love language. I loved learning language. I took different languages. I loved Latin. I love learning. I think you have to kind of love words. Somebody asked Philip Roth why he wanted to be a writer, and he said, because I love sentences. And so I think about that too. I think language has enormous power. I think I started to really think about it, interestingly enough, when, I think it was in the 70s when we started to talk about changing the word chairman, that everything was chairman. And somebody said, you know, it's early feminism. It could be chairwoman or it could be chairperson. And I thought, my first thought was, well, that's silly. And my second thought was, no, it's actually not silly at all. It is actually right that if you keep saying chairman, you will never visualize a woman in that role. And that probably, if you're going to, no one's ever asked me that question, I never thought about it for this moment, but I remember thinking, language has power. It can change society. So watch what you say. Look, I've been writing for 35 years, 35 novels, and about 9 works of nonfiction that's humorous. You know, I started out, nobody came to any signings. I wasn't in hardcover. So I've built this career. So this is what I dreamed of. So this is great. And I think also, as much as I love writing, I kind of am a people person, and I'm in a crate for a lot of the time. So when I get to come out, I just feel enormous gratitude. Gratitude for my life, for these readers, for libraries who attract these readers and cultivate them and help them nurture their own love of reading. There are plenty of book clubs out there today. That's not an accident. That's all work done by libraries. And that is enormously valuable to society as a whole. But I get to benefit. I think that I really do think it's first personal, that it's a small personal thing, and that I think it says to a child who maybe isn't supported in reading at home, come here, we'll give you books. We see you. We understand what you like. We like the same things. And then all of a sudden somebody's smiling where before they might have felt a little lost. And I think it's really important writ large because I think it builds community. Baltimore County Library is incredible. This group of librarians, they're amazing. You feel the camaraderie. You understand they work as a team, and they're used to building community. They have it between themselves, and I have no doubt that writ large, every one of the 19 libraries is a really welcoming place to be. Well, I don't think there's anything more fundamental to democracy than literacy, the ability to think critically, to challenge, to analyze, and that's something that we all have to do for ourselves. You know, there's a lot of talk lately, you do your own research. Yeah, do your own research. But that doesn't mean get it off of TikTok. It really means open a book. Learn something. And I think that it begins small and fans out to a larger community, and nobody does it better than libraries.